Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to all of you. And the most important question of the day. Did you all have a good weekend? Yes? Well, I certainly hope that you did. I hope that your weekend was filled with fun and laughter, with good times, more good times, and, of course, some better times. So, are you all ready? Are you all ready to get stuck into today's lesson? I bet you are. I bet that you're all sitting there with a cup of tea or coffee and perhaps a couple of biscuits too, waiting for me to stop talking so that we can get started. All right, in that case, what are we waiting for? We're not waiting for anything. We're just about to get started. But before we get stuck in, there's another important question that we have to answer. And that question is, who knows what day this is? Aha! Well, that's an easy one, isn't it? Yes, we all know that it's Monday. Good. Okay, so we know that it's Monday, but what date is it? Do you all know the answer to that question? Of course you do. You're not brainless muppets. You lot are gods of English. Okay, so we all know that it's Monday, the 19th of February, the year of our Lord, 3212. Well, okay, that last bit wasn't true. It's not actually 3212, is it? No. I know that, and you know that. It's 2018. Okay, now, one last question. What week is this? Who's been keeping track? Aha! You've all been keeping track, and you all know this is week 75. Good. And what does that mean? Well, apart from the fact that it means that we're doing very well, we've been learning English for 74 weeks, which is phenomenal. But apart from that, the fact that the number of the week is divisible by 5 with no remainder means that this is a mini revision week. Yes, we're starting a mini revision week, and that means, unfortunately, that we're not going to find out how the Benchfield mystery is going to end. Nope, not this week. Still, never mind, we're going to get to the bottom of it, I promise. Cross my heart and hope to die, stick a needle in my eye. Okay, that's all well and good. But now, let's have a look at some of the stuff we've seen in the last few weeks. We call these things chores. And a chore is a routine task or job that we have to do, something that we don't enjoy doing, but we know that we have to do it. Lots of times we hear people talking about household chores. Household chores are the things that we have to do about the house. Things like cleaning, dusting, washing the floor, washing our clothes, all of those boring tasks, those dull, boring jobs connected to our lives at home. Hoovering, cleaning the windows, doing the ironing, all of those jobs that we don't like, but we have to do. We know that we have to do these jobs, but they're boring. And that's what a chore is. A boring task that you have to do. Okay. And now we know that these things are chores. Boring, tedious tasks that we have to do. And I can think of another one too. One that brings us back to our favorite family. And which family am I talking about? You all know, don't you? Yes, of course you do. That's right. I'm talking about our friends, the Benchfields. And who remembers where they were the last time we saw them? Yes, that's right. They were doing something that most people think of as a chore, weren't they? Yes, they were doing something that most people regard as a chore. Something that we have to do, but something that most people don't enjoy doing at all. That's right. They were shopping, weren't they? And now, this is the thing. This is the important thing. This is the important difference. Not all shopping is shopping, is it? Do you know what I mean? All right, and now Liam's asking you too. So, not all shopping is shopping, is it? What the Benchfields were doing when we saw them last was, well, that sort of shopping is normally considered a chore, isn't it? Most of us think that food shopping is boring, it's tedious, it's not very interesting. We consider, we think, in our opinion, according to us, it's a chore. Something that we have to do, but a tedious task that we have to do. A boring job that is necessary, but definitely not fun. Okay, now there may be some people out there in the audience who enjoy food shopping. It's possible. We're all different, aren't we? Yes. So when I say that food shopping is a chore, I'm only stating my opinion. I think that most people think food shopping is a chore, a boring job that we have to do. But, as I said, this is my subjective opinion. And if you like food shopping, if you're one of the group that loves going to the supermarket, then great. Congratulations. Okay, now back to the rest of us. Most of us don't like food shopping. It's boring. Walking around and around and around the supermarket, picking things up off the shelves, putting them into your trolley, trying to maneuver your trolley past all the other trolleys, and all the rest of it. All that boring, tedious wandering about in a supermarket with horrible, bright, white, cold lighting. But, as I said earlier, not all shopping is shopping, is it? I mean, most of us don't like shopping for food. But what about shopping for other things? Yes, lots of people enjoy shopping, don't they? All right, I know that there are lots of people out there screaming "No!" at the television set at the moment. And that's okay. We all know that there is the stereotypical man who doesn't like shopping. But I'm not sure that it's really true. I don't know. You all know what a stereotype is, don't you? Well, let's start with the word typical, shall we? Now, this isn't an easy word to define, so bear with me. Typical is an adjective which suggests that something has the characteristics of a certain type of person or thing. So, for example, we can talk about architecture and use the adjective typical. The buildings on South Beach in Miami are typical of 1930s Art Deco. So, with this sentence, all that we're saying is that these buildings are representative of 1930s Art Deco. These buildings have all the qualities of 1930s Art Deco buildings. When we look at these buildings, they tell us 1930s Art Deco. Okay, now let's think of another example. Well, we often use the adjective typical to say that something is characteristic of a certain person, a certain thing, and it can be positive or negative. What do you mean Steve hasn't finished the speech? Oh God, that's typical of him. He's so slow at his job, a snail would beat him in a race. So, in this example, we're saying that this sort of behavior, the fact that this person, Steve, hasn't finished the job by the deadline is typical. This is the sort of behaviour we associate with Steve. He's slow, so slow that a snail is faster, and because of this, he didn't manage to finish the job. Typical. Now, people often use typical when something confirms what they think usually happens. To confirm is to say that something that we think is true is true. When you go on holiday to another country, you travel abroad, and you carry your passport to confirm that you are you. You tell the person at the border that your name is Jeffrey Banana or Kim Philby or Robert the Bruce, and the border guard checks the name in your passport to see if it's the same name, to see if the document confirms what you said. It's the same thing which happens in films about spies. In order to make sure that the secret information gets to the right person, the person with the secret information asks for confirmation, asks the other person to confirm their identity before they give them the secret information. The same thing also happens to us, normal people, people who aren't spies. When you want to check your email, for example, you open up the email program on your computer and you go to your inbox to see if there are any new exciting emails for you. Now, before you can get your new emails, your computer and the email server have to establish that this is your computer and this is your email account. So, when you open up the program you use to read and send emails, the program starts to communicate with the email server. It sends information to the server to show, to confirm, to establish that this is your computer, this is your email account, and this is you checking your email. Or perhaps you work for the CIA or the FBI or someone like that. And when you go to work, you have to use a special magnetic card to get through the door at your office. Or perhaps you have to put your finger onto a fingerprint reader or your palm onto a palm reader to show that it really is you, to confirm your identity. Perhaps you work in an office where you have to have a retina scan to confirm your identity to get to the top floor in the building.
Have a good day, sir.
John?
So, in the same way that we use our identity cards and passports to confirm our identities, when we're using our phones and computers to check our emails and things like that, then our phones and computers are continually sending and receiving information. They're giving and getting information to confirm that it is you who is trying to read your emails and not somebody else. Think about your credit card. There's a lot of information on your credit card, and when you want to use your credit card to buy something, a lot of the time you also have to provide or give a PIN number, a personal identification number, a code which shows that it is you, a code which confirms your identity. After you correctly enter your PIN number, after you have confirmed that it is you and not some nasty thief who's stolen your card, then you can use your credit card to buy something. If you can't confirm your identity, if you forget your PIN code, for example, then without confirmation, the bank won't allow you to use your credit card. And that's all the time we've got for today's mini revision. Yes, it's true. Old Father Time has come into the studio and is wagging his finger at me and tapping his watch. Our time is up, and we're going to have to leave you for the day. Oh well, never mind. We'll be back tomorrow, and that's the main thing. So until then, have fun, have fun, have fun, and have a good time. I'll see you all tomorrow. See you later. Bye.